Hello, everybody, and welcome back to South Park Quarry, where today we are going to begin work on the layout. How are we all doing? I hope you are well. What you've got in your view there is pretty much the whole layout. There's a little bit more on the right, well, so you can see the end of the left-hand side there. So this is going to be our next live stream project. Today we are going to be doing some prep work for that because I don't want to start the live stream, cut some cork out, stick it down, and then spend 2.5 hours sat looking at glue drying. That doesn't seem like a great way to go. So today we are going to get the baseboards prepped. We are going to get the cork down on them. I'm not going to make you sit through watching all of that, and I'm certainly not going to make you watch it dry. But this will at least give you some idea of what we do when we're starting a layout build. So yes, you see we've got from that end there, where the trains enter, park up here, and the loco can run round and push the train down into this siding before leaving. We then have, messing it all up there, the shed line where the industrial shunter will be, which then opens up into a standard 533 inglenook. So the shunter can shunt around and complete the inglenook puzzle. And then once it's done, obviously the completed train is left on this line, and our mainline engine can come back in, collect it, and be gone. So, you know, it is a nice little shunting puzzle. So we finally start work today with the cork. This is Gauge Master 1/16 inch cork that will form the track bed. Nothing particularly special about that. I use Gauge Master because it's what we stock at the shop, and you know, cork is cork, really. I am not sponsored by anyone. I just thought I'd let you know what I use. So, prep work for that. So let's take, I've already unstuck all these, as you noticed. We've got the first bit, so we'll start here. We're going to cut this out, draw around it onto here, and then cut this and stick it down. So we'll do that on camera, and then I will get the rest done. I don't think you need to see all of it, really, do you? So I cut along, leaving a bit of a gap at the edge. I usually actually print these with the track bed visible. I can't remember why I didn't print this. It's been a couple of years now. That bit can go. We no longer need that. So we got our point that sits just there and completes the entrance track there. So we will take that, we will draw around it on the cork. Now, I always use the outside of the roll to draw on, and I will try and get the smoothest side, the smoothest way with the curve. So I don't usually go that way where we'll end up with a big curve. Now on the left hand edge of this, I have gone a bit over, because you'll see we've got the hole in the back seam there, which will go out to the fiddle stick. It's not, can't really call it a fiddle yard, as it will just be a single track. So this printout actually ends where the back seam meets the baseboard, but I want a little bit of extra cork to go into there, so I've just gone slightly past that. So then we'll get the cutting mat. We've got a fresh blade in the knife. And we can just cut round. And that gives us our point section. Now on these, when I am doing the cork, I always mark in something slightly thicker than the pen I'm using. Where the edge of the point actually is. So that when it comes time to lay the track, I know exactly what part the point is meant to be on. And trust me, that is very helpful. So this will just go down here like that. I'm not going to stick that down just yet. I need to cut this one out before we stick it. You see, although I've marked the buffer stops on this, I will still go past them. Well, I'll go past this one. I won't on the others because they're at the edge of the baseboard. But it just gives us that little bit extra track bed. Never throw a bit of cork away. You probably will want it later for building up scenery. So we'll move this as close to the edge as possible. It's not quite straight, so we can't do it completely. We just get our marks round that, so we get another bit drawn out. Slice all the way around it. Now obviously there are no points on this bit, so I don't need to mark that out. But that gives us our next piece, and so at the end there we are now, the first bit of paper is done. And if I put this in here, you can see this is still lined up quite nicely. This lines up to the front of the board. and we can get that nicely positioned. So the next thing to do is to cover those in glue, put some weight on them, pretend that my phone is already on silent and not going off on the video, because we would never do such a thing on this channel, would we? We are such professionals. He says whilst desperately looking around. There it is. His paintbrush he uses for glue. So what we want to do here is completely cover the back of the cork with glue. And place it down on the baseboard. We'll just hold it for now whilst we cover the other piece. And then with them both down, we put some hooks on them. This one is obviously not big enough, so we're going to get a slightly bigger book. And then we'll put another couple of books on top of it just to add to the weight. And now those ones will dry and I can get on with the rest of the track. And then we'll do some more prep. So, see you back here soon. Okay everyone, and we are back from our half-length time lapse because my laptop decided not to record the second half. As you can see, the cork is now down and I have laid out the, I suppose technically 5 sets of points. It's 3 sets of points and a double slip, all Pico code 75 because Pico code 75 track is the best track. Again, I'm not sponsored, but we do sell it at work, so there is that. Now, the only thing left to do before the live stream on Sunday is to get the holes drilled for the point motors, and then that is it. Baseboard prep is done. So I'm going to show you what I do for that, and then the layout should be left for the live stream. If we come over here to this set of points here, which you can see nicely sat in a drawn out section, because I've done this as one big bit of cork rather than cutting it like I did round the points as you saw earlier. I have drawn the entire shape of the points on there. So now the point motor will be operating through this hole here, which I just so happen to have a drill bit just the right size for. Isn't that convenient? Obviously we need a hole slightly bigger than that because this moves. So what we do here is we find where our centre is going to be. We put the point in place and we just move the blades and hold them so that they are in the middle. We can then drop our drill bit down, just go a few times like that, and we now have just here, I don't know how well that's showing up on the camera, but we have a bit of a hole here that I can work with to just drill straight through, and that is our guide hole. Now obviously that's not going to be enough, so underneath I will take the power drill now and go underneath the baseboard. I'm not going to do this on camera because, well, you don't want to hear the power drill. But if we go under the baseboard, you can see we have a hole here. So I can now put the power drill through. I will use a 10mm drill bit. That will open out a 10mm hole. Shocker, I know. And then the baseboards will be ready. Obviously I have to do that all the sets of points, so there are a few more holes to go. But for now, that is us done. So I really hope to see you on the live stream on Sunday when we are going to start getting some track on this. And hopefully it won't be long till we can run something on it. Maybe even a really nice looking O-class. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.